Let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. Have you noticed that no matter how hard you work, your money just doesn't stretch the way it used to? You fill your shopping cart with less, but you somehow pay more at the checkout. Your rent went up. Your bills went up. Even a simple cup of coffee costs more than it did last year. And here's the part that really stings. Your income probably didn't grow at the same speed. So you're left with this quiet, frustrating feeling that you're running faster and faster, just to stay in the exact same place. Well, here's the truth, and I want you to really hear this. You are not imagining it, and you are not bad with money. In a recent survey, affordability and high prices were named the #1 financial worry by more people than any other concern. So if everything feels expensive to you right now, it's because, for most people, it genuinely is. This is not a personal failure. This is something happening to almost everyone at the same time. But here's what almost nobody explains clearly. Once you actually understand why this is happening, something powerful changes. You stop blaming yourself, you stop feeling guilty, and you start making smarter, calmer moves that protect your money. So in this video, I'm going to explain in plain, simple language exactly why everything feels so expensive right now. No confusing economics, no complicated jargon, just clear answers. And then I'm going to give you practical, honest ways to cope and take back control, even if your income hasn't changed at all. We'll cover the real reasons behind rising prices, and then a complete set of strategies you can start using today. And stick around until the very end, because the last strategy is the one that quietly makes the biggest difference over time, and most people completely overlook it. Welcome back to FinlyticFinance, where we make money simple and honest. If rising prices have been stressing you out, or keeping you up at night, take a deep breath right now, because by the end of this video, you're going to feel a lot more in control and a lot less alone. Let's get into it. First, let's understand the main reason everything feels so expensive. The simple word for it is inflation. Now don't let that word scare you, because it's actually very easy to understand. Inflation just means that over time, prices rise, so each dollar you have buys a little less than it used to. Let me give you an easy, real-life example. Imagine a basket of groceries cost you $100 2 years ago. Because of inflation, that exact same basket of groceries might cost you $115, or even $120 today. You're getting the same food, the same items, but you're paying more for them. Now here's the important part. Multiply that small increase across absolutely everything you buy, your rent, your fuel, your electricity, your insurance, your phone bill, and suddenly you can see why your money seems to disappear faster than ever before. Nothing about you changed. You didn't become wasteful. The price of life itself simply went up, quietly, month after month. And here's something most people don't realize about inflation. Even when the rate of inflation slows down, prices usually don't go back down. They just rise more slowly. So the higher prices you're paying now tend to stay high. That's why it can feel like you never quite catch up. You're adjusting to a new, more expensive normal, and that adjustment is genuinely hard on most budgets. The second reason is something most people never connect to their daily struggle, and that's wages not keeping up with prices. Here's the painful part. Even when the cost of everything rises, many people's salaries stay exactly the same, or they grow much more slowly than prices do. So picture a simple set of scales. On one side, you have rising costs climbing higher and higher. On the other side, you have your paycheck, sitting almost flat. That growing gap between the two is exactly why life feels tighter and tighter. You're not suddenly spending recklessly. You're simply being charged more for the same life, while earning roughly the same amount of money. Understanding this is genuinely powerful, because it shifts the blame away from you and puts it where it actually belongs, on the gap between prices and pay. The third reason is what I call the silent squeeze of essentials. Pay close attention to this one, because it explains so much. Notice that the things rising fastest in price are very often the things you absolutely cannot avoid. Food, housing, energy, insurance, healthcare. You can choose to skip a luxury, like a vacation or a new gadget. But you cannot choose to skip eating, or skip paying your rent, or skip keeping the lights on. So these unavoidable, essential costs eat up a bigger and bigger share of your income, leaving less and less for everything else, including the money you'd love to save. This is exactly why even people who are genuinely careful and responsible with money still feel stretched painfully thin. The squeeze is happening on the very things they have no choice but to pay for. The fourth reason is a sneaky psychological one, and it's called price anchoring. This one is fascinating once you understand it. Your brain quietly remembers what things used to cost. It stores those old prices like little anchors. So when you walk into a store and see the new, higher price, it feels genuinely painful, almost like a small shock, because your brain is instantly comparing it to that old, lower price stuck in your memory. This is why everything feels expensive on an emotional level, not just on paper. You're not just paying more, you're feeling the difference every single time. And simply recognizing this mental trick helps a lot, because it lets you respond to prices with calm logic, instead of stress and frustration. Okay. So now that you truly understand why everything feels so expensive, let's get into the part that actually changes your life. How to cope, and how to take back control. And the first strategy is the most important one of all. You have to know exactly where your money is going. There's an old truth in personal finance. You cannot manage what you do not measure. So here's your action step. For just 2 weeks, track every single thing you spend, down to the smallest purchase. Write it down, or use a simple app, whatever works for you. I promise you, most people are genuinely shocked when they finally see the full picture laid out in front of them. Once you can see it clearly, you can spot exactly where prices have crept up, and decide what to do about each one. Awareness alone, just seeing the truth, often saves people far more money than they ever expected. The second strategy is to focus your energy on your biggest expenses, not the tiny ones. This is where most people get it backwards, so listen carefully. People often stress endlessly over a small daily coffee, while completely ignoring the enormous costs like housing, transportation, and food. But here is the simple math that changes everything. A small saving on a big expense beats a big saving on a tiny one, every single time. Cutting your rent or your insurance by even a little can save you more in 1 month than skipping coffee saves you in a whole year. So ask yourself the big questions. Can I reduce my housing cost in any way? Can I find a cheaper phone plan, or a better insurance deal? Can I lower my biggest grocery or transport costs? That is where the real, life-changing money is hiding. The third strategy is to become a smarter shopper, without lowering your quality of life at all. This is about being clever, not about suffering. So here's what that looks like in practice. Buy your essentials in bulk when they go on sale, especially the things you use all the time. Plan your meals for the week, so that food doesn't get forgotten and thrown away, because wasted food is wasted money. Compare prices before any big purchase, instead of buying on impulse. And here's a powerful one. Avoid shopping when you're tired, stressed, or emotional, because that is exactly when we overspend without thinking. These small, simple habits quietly add up to real money over a year, and the beautiful part is, you barely feel any change in your actual lifestyle. The fourth strategy is to review and cancel the silent drains. These are the subscriptions, the small fees, and the automatic payments that you signed up for and then completely forgot about. Think about it. In a world where absolutely everything costs more, continuing to pay for things you don't even use is the easiest money you will ever recover. So do this today. Go through your bank statement, line by line, and hunt for them. Forgotten streaming services. A free trial that quietly started charging you. A membership you never use. A fee you didn't even know about. Find every single one, and cancel anything that isn't truly adding real value to your life. Then take that recovered money and put it to better use. And now, the strategy that quietly makes the biggest difference of all, the one most people completely overlook. Here it is. Instead of only trying to cut your costs, start working slowly and steadily on raising your income, even just a little. Now here's why this matters so much, and please really take this in. You can only cut your expenses so far. There is a floor, a hard limit. You will eventually run out of things to cut. But your income has no ceiling at all. There's no limit to how much it can grow over time. That might mean learning a new skill that pays more. It might mean starting a small side income doing something you're good at. It might mean confidently asking for a raise that you have genuinely earned. In a time when prices keep climbing higher and higher, growing your income is the single most powerful long-term protection you have. Let me put it as simply as I can. Cutting your costs helps you survive the rising prices. But growing your income is what helps you finally get ahead of them. Now let me give you one honest and important piece of reassurance, because I think you need to hear it. Feeling stressed about money right now does not mean that you are failing. It does not mean you're bad with money, or that you've made terrible choices. The cost of living genuinely rose, sharply, and millions upon millions of people are feeling exactly the same way that you are feeling right now. You are truly not alone in this. The goal here is not to feel guilty or ashamed. The goal is to clearly understand what is actually happening, and then respond to it with a calm, clear plan. And that is exactly what you are doing, right now, in this very moment, just by watching this and learning. That's a real step forward, and you should feel good about it. So let's bring it all together and quickly recap everything you've learned today. Things feel so expensive because of 4 main reasons. Because of inflation, which makes every dollar buy less. Because wages haven't kept up with rising prices. Because the essentials you can't avoid are rising the fastest. And because of the way our brains anchor to the old, lower prices we remember. And to cope and take back control, you're going to track exactly where your money goes, focus your energy on your biggest expenses, shop smarter without sacrificing your lifestyle, cancel the silent drains, and most importantly of all, work steadily on slowly growing your income. None of this requires you to be perfect. It just requires you to start, with one single step. Now I would genuinely love to hear from you, because your story matters. What is the one expense that has shocked you the most with how much it has gone up? Maybe it's your groceries, your rent, your fuel, or something else entirely. Drop it in the comments below and let me know, because I actually read them, and it truly helps me create better and more helpful videos for you. And if this video helped you feel even a little more in control, and a little less stressed about your money, do me one small favor and hit that subscribe button, so you never miss a simple, honest money tip from FinlyticFinance. We're all in this together, and small smart steps really do add up over time. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice.